What's up, guys? Faruqi Bros here, back with another video. And today for you guys, we're going to be talking about a rumor about Spider-Man. Specifically that Spider-Man could be appearing in a small role in Venom 2. Of course, that Spider-Man being Tom Holland. So, there's a lot of logistics that go into this, like, where this stands in the whole contract situation with Tom Holland, given the whole fiasco last year with Disney and Sony. And also how it makes sense story-wise. Does this mean Venom is part of the MCU, and so far and so forth? So, what do you think about Tom Holland being potentially in Venom 2?
So I think we've seen him in Homecoming now. We've seen him in Far From Home, and then in the team-ups. So Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War, like, I don't really count the ones that are like team just because it's not his movie. But Tom Holland has been pretty good at Spider-Man. I think the gripe that I had is just more so that, like, the writing is off, or the movie itself, like the whole concept behind it, or Tony Stark is too involved. So if he does show up in Venom 2 and then they end up putting him, like, having a movie with him in Venom, it would be cool to see, especially because Sony makes darker movies. Like, generally speaking, like, the movies they go a little bit, like, deeper with that character. So I'm excited to see that side of things. But also, Marvel is more about continuity, so I'm interested in seeing how much they address, like, Tom Holland being like basically everyone knowing Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Like, they just kind of it's out there now. It's not like it's not hidden. It's not a hidden thing. So I'm interested to see how they would kind of handle that. If it's just a cameo, obviously they don't have to address it. But how would they handle that? That's the interesting part. Like, I'm just interested in seeing how they would go about it. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what you said, and you're right about his identity being shown. It makes you think that is this even that Peter Parker, or is this his own separate thing? Either way, it'd be pretty good. I mean, if it is in the MCU, I feel like this is Sony's way of trying to see that, like, can Spider-Man work without the MCU? Will they pull him on, put him into this Sony universe of, like, Marvel characters or whatever, and just drop him and make a whole Spider-Verse type thing? Not like Spider-Verse movie, but, like, of all the Spider-Man characters. And because the original Venom made what, like 800 million, close to $1 billion. So if you throw Spider-Man in that mix, it should be $1 billion guaranteed. And just seeing Tom Holland's obviously the best part of the MCU Spider-Man. I think everything else is pretty much done so poorly. So if this clicks and works really well, I wouldn't mind them dropping the whole MCU angle and just going off with this. Whether this is a Tom Holland that didn't have the events of the MCU or was part of that, I guess it doesn't matter either way. I'll be excited no matter what they do. And honestly, if they wanted to, they could have just made it separate and had, like, Andrew Garfield come back and connect the Amazing Spider-Man universe to this, which would have been really sick to see too.
I would have liked that. To be honest, I would have liked that more. I'm a fan of that Spider-Man, even though I know most of the world hates him. But
yeah, I don't really like how the MCU handles, everything around Spider-Man. Like the characters in his standalone movies, everyone other than him are like, they're not really like likable characters that you can connect with. See him meet Venom, obviously, since Venom is probably his best villain, and since they're bringing Carnage into it too, and Morbius, I feel like it'd be crazy to have Spider-Man in that universe.
I agree with all that. I think, we already know that, Sony did pull Spider-Man out of the MCU for, like, about, 1 month, I think. He was pulled out because of the negotiations being broken down, and eventually there was such an outcry from all the fans. But I think that eventually, obviously, they made the deal, and the deal, as what we've been told from The Hollywood Reporter and Variety and Deadline, was that Spider-Man can come for 2 more movies in the MCU. So 1 more solo film to finish out that trilogy, the Homecoming trilogy, and then 1 team-up film. And that's the deal that we've been told is made. But we never know what the kind of deals are happening in the background. Like, does this mean part of the deal was that Venom is part of the MCU? If Venom is part of the MCU, and that movie already happened, then it would make sense that they told Disney that, hey, you want to use Spider-Man in your universe? Well, Tom Holland has to show up in one of our movies too, which is where Venom 2 comes in.
And like Samir said, because Morbius is on the way, because we know they're making a Silver Sable movie, we know they're making more with Spider-Verse, we know the Black Cat movie will come out. There's a lot of stuff they're building with the Spider-Man universe. I think it makes sense to eventually want their own Spider-Man. Partly I agree with Zion that, you know, this is a good opportunity for Andrew Garfield to do Spider-Man again. But at the same time, I think that he himself as an actor has gotten too big now. So I don't think he'd even want to do it, but personally. But the last point is that would this be in the universe or not? And that's the kind of question that all you guys brought up. Like, how does this fit? The last time we left Spider-Man was him being exposed by Mysterio, and now suddenly he's going to cameo in Venom 2, where obviously there's a lot of stuff happening between him and Carnage. Do you guys have any idea how it's going to work? Do you put it in the past? Like, maybe after Civil War, before Infinity War? Or do you keep it moving after Far From Home?
You could just act like nothing ever happened.
It could be after.
Again, like Zion is right. Zion is right. You can just act like whatever. It's our own Spider-Man's doing our own thing.
Would you have a whole new costume also then? Like, brand new Spider-Man costume, everything?
Honestly, if they gave him like a more classic costume, that would be really sick to see. Like an amazing.
Yeah, I liked it. Like, to be honest, the costume that they showed in Civil War, like the one before Tony Stark gave him the upgrade, that's like startup Spider-Man. This is a startup Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him with the more classic Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, same. And I think the cool thing is that, you know, this Venom movie has a better director because Andy Serkis is handling it. So I think his directing, we know Tom Hardy can act. We know because of Joker and the success of Joker that Venom 2 is going to be rated R now. They're not going to be holding back. They're going to be going darker for this movie. Will they allow
a rated R movie with Spider-Man in it?
I think so, if he has a small role. I think we don't know if the role is a post-credit scene. We don't know if the role is actually him doing something in the movie. It's hard to tell. But either way, it's going to be very interesting if it ends up being true. I was told that people did reach out to Sony to see if this rumor was correct. And they said, we have no comment at this time. Usually they would say no if it was like a definite no. The fact that we have no comment at this time, it gives some precedence that perhaps Spider-Man will indeed be in this movie, which shows that Sony is very intent on still building their own little Spider-Verse universe of characters, apart from the MCU or maybe part of the MCU. We'll find out in due time. What do you guys think about Spider-Man potentially showing up in Venom 2? Do you want the Venom little universe to be part of the MCU, or do you want this to be a separate little world with Tom Holland Spider-Man? Let us know in the comments below. From myself, from Zayon, from Umar, and from Samir, this is the Faruqi Bros. We'll see you next time. Peace out.